After talking about the currently active chameleons among male seiyuu that have been impressing everyone, it's time to fantasize a little bit and check who are the seiyuu I believe have the potential to become vocal chameleons. Let's kick off this episode of Seiyuu Lounge. Welcome to Seiyuu Lounge. I am your host Vanessa, and today's topic is male seiyuu with potential to become vocal chameleons. More than talking about the seiyuu that are already out there dazzling us with singing skills and vocal ranges that everyone agrees are bloody awesome, it is time to, in a way, check who are the talents that are already showing signs that they can become vocal chameleons in the future. Will they ever become one? That is up to them and their individual growth as performers. What I'll be doing in this episode is going a bit through some of their memorable performances, singing style, technique and vocal ranges, and basically try to sell you the idea that these seiyuu can become vocal chameleons. Feel free to share in the comments on YouTube the seiyuu you believe will become vocal chameleons, or at least show the potential to become one. So let's get this started. Shoya Chiba. In the last couple of years, Shoya Chiba has been showcasing his cards as a singer. Actually, in the last couple of years, he has been everywhere as the poster boy for 2D music projects like Carnelian Blood, Perfection Noise, Visual Prison, and Tokyo Color Sonic. And he fits all the roles he was cast in within those projects. But if you take a closer look, you have aggressive rock with screamo, dance music with R&B and pop in the mix, visual kei rock and pop rock. That's Shoya Chiba once again showing that he's got the talent and versatility that justify him being the face and voice of those projects. Those are already 4 2D music projects in which he is showing a little bit of his range, the power and the emotional range he has, and the versatility that enables him to deliver outstanding performances in completely different music genres. For those that have been following his growth, these still arrived as unexpected. Shoya Chiba did grow a whole lot in the last couple of years, and as of 2022, is one of the most exciting talents out there. As of recording this episode, Chiba announced that he was going on a hiatus to undergo the removal of nodules in his vocal cords. So if you've been impressed by his performances in 2022, including Toxin's Hakusha, do know he was performing the song with his vocals really far from being at 100% power or even considered healthy. So he's really turning into a powerful singer, and I can't really hide my excitement for what can be on the horizon for him, especially with him making a full recovery from his surgery taking place later in June 2022. For those that don't know, Shoya Chiba has a background of playing guitar and singing for rock bands. He's a music geek with a deep knowledge of music and its history, and to top it all off, he is a singer-songwriter. He's also a tenor with quite a lot of low range to himself. You won't normally find him belting high notes, but he can, sure as hell, provide a lot of depth to a group's performances or make chills run down your spine if performing a solo track. He's got a nasally twist to his performances that has toned down quite a lot over the years. He's best known as leader of Killer King in B Project, as well as leader of High Joker in the Idolmaster Side M franchise. Those were his first ever exposures to working as part of 2D music projects. However, he's come a long way since his shaky performances lacking emotion back in 2015. You could tell he was not comfortable back then. You could tell that he was still trying to find a way to convey the character's emotions without compromising quality in his performances. He was at the same time figuring himself out as a singer, as well as a voice actor performing characters' songs. As a result of overthinking and lack of confidence, most of his work early on with Killer King was seriously lacking anything that would make him stand out positively. However, as soon as he found his groove, we all found a diamond in the rough, sparkling through the rubble. Things started to change around 2018 when Chiba started to show vast improvements to his singing technique, a lot of emotion and power, not to mention an impressive energy and charisma on stage. He joined Kashikomi in 2018 alongside Shonogami and then popular seiyuu unit Sparklu, which he ended up graduating from in 2021. You can't deny it, he is versatile. You can perform heavy rock, heart-wrenching ballads, fancy jazz, sweet R&B songs, dance music, and bubbly pop. His voice can be soft and warm, melancholic and somber, bubbly and upbeat, or raw and aggressive, as is shown countless times in his work for both 2D music projects as well as Kashikomi. Chiba has the perfect voice tone for it. He's a tenor, and he's managed to perfect the way he tackles his performances as well as polished his technique, bringing a lot of falsetto and some bits of vibrato into the mix. In 2019, Shoya Chiba polished his vocals and technique even further. It found his stride. Since then, he's been a delight to follow and has been on the rise, being one of the most sought-after young talents in the seiyuu industry when it comes to 2D music projects. In my opinion, he's starting to show the makings of a vocal chameleon. His vocal range and versatility, however, with a specialization in performing aggressive rock, reminds me a lot of Soma Saito back in 2015. That sort of explosive power performing rock songs, completely embracing Visual Kei's dramatic style of singing, pulling off screamo and doing faux baritone without an issue really remind me of Soma Saito. How wide Shoya Chiba's vocal range is ends up being a good question. I believe he hasn't shown us his full capabilities nor his range. I'm curious to see and hear how high he can go, what he can pull off if left to his own devices. Even as he starts being typecast into the music projects as a quiet, delicate individual with an unusual passion within them, which you can find in his roles for Visual Prison and Carnelian Blood franchise, for example, he always gives a different twist when it comes to the singing tone he associates to each character. I strongly believe he's going to become a vocal chameleon. Jin Ogasawara. Up until 2022, Jin Ogasawara was an exciting talent with the highest ceiling in terms of his growth as a singer. However, nothing he released as a solo artist in his debut year showcased just how good of a singer he actually is. Yes, I had my doubts, as I believe anyone seeing a talent breaking through the crowd and slowly making a stance will have. It was raw and it was obvious he was talented. If his performances as Gyroaxia's frontman were anything to go for, but in 2022 he has shown so far that he has matured a whole lot and grown pretty fast as a singer. Perhaps he was hiding these skills because up until now those hadn't been required of him. Perhaps he didn't have those and practiced it in order to become a better singer. We may never know. Jin Ogasawara is currently the best screamo singer among male seiyuu. He's got a unique power and poise as he goes through deep, raw screamo parts, holding on to those with a lot of confidence. But he has also shown that he can easily perform head voice, natural high notes, do R&B riffing, rapping, and do clean singing. He's actually insanely versatile and he was, up until May 2022, hiding these awesome skills behind generic singing for his solo career. He's taking care of his vocals, something you can notice from the way he does screamo. He has kept his unique raspy edge, but he doesn't scratch his vocals all that much like he used to do. He's turning not only into a great singer, but also into a smarter one. Ogasawara made his solo debut with Only One Thing in 2021, digital single that brought to the spotlight noughties pop punk with a little bit of electro rock in the mix. It was a single with a twinge of nostalgia and, in equal measures, a youthful vibe. His second digital single, Guns and Loudness, was slightly different, embracing a fast-paced aggressive rock sound, and despite not improving upon his debut digital single, it showed a different side to Ogasawara, the solo artist. In December 2021, he released his first mini-album, Turbo, which ended up being a mixed bag that really didn't flatter his skills. After 5 months without releasing any music, Ogasawara was back, writing lyrics to his songs, being more experimental with his sound, having fun creating and performing music. And what followed are 6 stunning digital singles that I hold pretty high in my list of best releases of 2022. I've said it on an episode of Monthly Review on the Hand That Feeds HQ's YouTube channel that if those songs end up being compiled into a CD, I may hail it as one of the best, if not the best, release of the year. He strayed away from pure rock and pop punk and brought in classy jazz, timeless synthwave, 90s-inspired hip-hop, emotional R&B tunes, and semi-acoustic tracks. He went outside of his zone of comfort. He went and explored the limits of his skills as a singer, bringing in low, resonant notes, smooth mid-tones, and high notes that caught everyone by surprise. Jin Ogasawara made a statement with those 6 digital singles. He snatched a spotlight and put it over him in one of the most badass ways he could have done it. And is showing he's got the talent. There is still loads to untap, and the versatility to turn into one of the vocal chameleons we will be talking about in a couple of years. In a way, if I had to compare him to a current vocal chameleon, I'd say he's fairly similar to Takuya Guchi, at least vocal range-wise. Now you and I get to talk about the singers that not only have the makings of a vocal chameleon, but also have with them something no other seiyuu has: a unique voice tone. Yuya Hirose. I'm a sucker for his delicate tenor voice. If you're an avid reader of Zul and Erosion's reviews at the Hand That Feeds HQ, you're well aware of how fond I am of Yuya Hirose's vocals and how I consider him as a genuinely talented singer. Yuya Hirose has a beautiful voice. In a way, I believe that among his generation of seiyuu, Yuya Hirose is part of an exclusive group of unique tenors with a twist that includes Shun Horie and Shoya Chiba. Hirose is a tenor with a solid high range and is really smooth in his delivery. Really, his performances feel like he's gliding through the lyrics. It's quite tantalizing. He can add some raspiness in his performances like he does for Zul songs in order to sound edgy. But he can also be extremely delicate in his delivery, like he does in some of Erosion's songs. His duality as a singer plus his skills makes it so that he always stands out. He's been singing at a high level with a good quality and control since 2017, and the more he sings and the more opportunities he gets with 2D music projects, the more people are impressed with his skills. Due to his unique singing tone and technique, he's been a sought-after talent for 2D music projects. Fans will best know him as Zul's center in the Idolish 7 franchise, but he's got a lot of versatility to him that not only make him excel in pop, EDM and R&B, but also rock with Erosion in the Carnelian Blood franchise, fancy pop meets R&B of Golden Record in the Pythagoras Production franchise, and even Eurobeat music as the leader of Himmel in the Fabulous Night franchise. He's been learning from the best singers among male seiyuu, some of those actual vocal chameleons. Toshiki Toyonaga in the Carnelian Blood franchise and Soma Saito in the Idolish 7 franchise. And he keeps on pushing the boundaries of his voice, delivering tantalizing performances with what is one of the sweetest and smoothest singing voice tones among male seiyuu. Versatility, reliability, and the quality that few his age have make Yuya Hirose one of the most exciting talents and certainly a seiyuu that shows the makings of a vocal chameleon. The ability to suit any music genre is really something that Yuya Hirose shares with all vocal chameleons. However, he reminds me a lot of Soma Saito as their vocal ranges are fairly similar. Soma Saito does have a natural voice tone that is way lower than Hirose's, albeit still considered delicate, but other than that, when both go to those high notes in falsetto, they are breaking through their natural tenor scale into female scale, and that's when the similarities in their vocal range start to appear. Seeing as Yuya Hirose takes a lot of inspiration from Soma Saito, who has taken him under his wing, I believe it is really a matter of time and opportunities presented to him until he turns into a vocal chameleon. And lastly, we have Shun Horie, a raspy tenor. Now that is an unusual combination, yet it is so ethereal, so mesmerizing, so tasteful that I can't stop listening to Shun Horie's singing when he is usually in his natural singing tone. Shun Horie has been quite the surprise for me. The more I hear him sing, the more I enjoy his singing skills. He's got quite the unique voice tone, a bit raspy yet delicate at the same time. His singing tone is otherworldly. His technique is second to none, and he tackles the trickiest of things on the vocal end with an ease that constantly leaves me in awe. There's much more to his singing than what he is usually known for. He's versatile, incredibly so. Since joining Anthos, Horie has provided a stellar layer of ethereal beauty to the group's performances, bringing his crystal clear high notes and raspy lows to great use. His performances with Vezi in the Vez Rock franchise continue to be highlight after highlight, with him betting a lot on his raspy lower end, on his vocal range to impress. He goes high on his range and embraces a youthful singing tone for his performances as part of Bite in the Idolmaster Side-M franchise. He's easily the best singer in Sparklu, standing out with his versatility and technicality in songs such as Aoshigure. He can drive a song forward, be the core to a song, and absolutely mesmerize you with his performances. His singing is filled with life. You want to just sit back and give him all your attention as soon as he starts singing. He's got that star aura about his singing, and that growly, raspy edge to his voice has turned into his signature, something that no other seiyuu has, making him a unique singing talent. Horie is one of the most complete talents in the seiyuu industry when it comes to singing, and what he has been doing in the last couple of years only reinforces my position about him being a future vocal chameleon. He's got the composure and comfort on stage and on record. He knows his limits on the vocal end as well as makes the best out of his strengths in effortless fashion. In a way, he reminds me of Toshiki Toyonaga for how unreal of a tenor he is, having polarizing, natural twists to his vocal range and tone. At the same time, I hear a lot of Shotawoi in the way he tackles and gets to those high notes in head voice, a technique that is a pain to master, much less to perform a full chorus in it. Yep, it happens in Aoshigure. If he wants to, he does have all the tools at his disposal in order to become a vocal chameleon. They do it all when it comes to singing. Masters of disguise, experts in their craft, owners of unique voices with equally impressive vocal ranges. The names I mentioned in this episode are, of course, yet to become chameleons. Some will, some may not. Still, it is really awesome to start noticing the signs that they have the talent to pull off multiple singing tones, tap into different sides of their vocal range, and even to vocal ranges that are not theirs or simply sound unrecognizable at times. Now tell me, who are the seiyuu you believe have the potential to become vocal chameleons? I'm really curious to know who are the seiyuu that are starting to show those signs to you, so hop in the comments on YouTube and share your opinions. And remember, leave your comments as complex or as simple as they may be, and you can be featured on upcoming episodes of Seiyuu Lounge. Hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed this episode and don't want to miss the Hand That Feeds HQ's weekly male seiyuu and music-related content. I'll return next week with another episode of Seiyuu Lounge. Thank you for listening and see you guys around.